The story begins with one of our main characters, Slipper, a compulsive gambler. He shares his life philosophy with his partner, Landlord. Slipper's grand plan is to marry a rich woman to solve his financial problems. For now, his income relies on small wins at the horse races. He and Landlord are also petty thieves, seen here stealing valuable items. During a chaotic escape from a hospital, a baby is born. Their getaway driver and third partner, Octopus, is waiting for them. The trio uses clumsy disguises to sneak past hospital security. Their escape doesn't go unnoticed, and a chase begins. Meanwhile, an obsessed man named Max confronts a new mother in the hospital. He delusionally claims that her newborn baby is his son. The mother, terrified, insists the baby's father is a man named Calvin. Max becomes violent, threatening the mother and child on a high ledge. He tries to force her away with him, but she resists. In the struggle, Max tragically falls from the building, taking the baby with him. By sheer chance, Slipper and Octopus, escaping on a platform below, catch the falling baby. They manage to secure the baby and narrowly avoid falling themselves. Back in their life of crime, Landlord, the safecracker, attempts to open a safe. Unfortunately for them, the safe is empty except for a few coins. At home, Octopus's wife, Paquin, finds the money he's been hiding in the refrigerator. Slipper finds himself in trouble, trying to reason with a loan shark he owes money to. To escape, he climbs out onto a ledge, threatening to jump. He makes a daring escape by climbing down the building's air conditioning units. During his escape, he runs into Lieutenant Steve, a police officer and an old schoolmate. Elsewhere, Octopus's wife Paquin confronts him while he's on a date with another woman. Fed up with his behavior, she demands a divorce. She then drops a bombshell: she is pregnant with his child. Octopus is stunned and doesn't know how to react to the news. Coldly, he tells her to get an abortion, as he doesn't want a child. Slipper returns to his family home, only to find it vandalized by his creditors. He brings gifts, trying to make amends with his family. His father, however, is furious and ashamed of his son's criminal life. He points to the threatening graffiti as proof of Slipper's failure. In a fit of rage, his father throws out all the gifts Slipper brought. He then disowns his son, telling him to never return. Meanwhile, Landlord and his wife return home to find they've been robbed. All of their life savings, which he kept in a safe, are gone. Desperate for money, Landlord calls Slipper with a proposal for a big job. The job is to kidnap the baby from the hospital, who is the heir to a fortune. The ransom is a staggering $7 million. The trio breaks into the wealthy family's home to carry out the plan. They find the family's safe, but it has already been emptied. They are surprised to find the baby and his mother still in the house. With their original plan failed, they decide to kidnap the baby directly. Slipper protests, reminding them of their code of honor which forbids kidnapping. To make matters worse, Landlord reveals he gave the baby a sedative. Landlord breaks down, confessing that he lost all his money and is desperate. His emotional plea convinces the others to go through with the kidnapping. During their getaway, they get into a reckless street race with the baby in the car. The mastermind behind the kidnapping, the baby's grandfather, gives orders to his men. Their escape is interrupted when they are stopped at a police checkpoint. Panic sets in as Octopus, the driver, reveals his license is suspended. The police officer becomes suspicious and asks to inspect the bag holding the baby. Just then, the grandfather's men arrive, causing a massive car crash. Octopus gets trapped in the wreckage and urges the others to escape with the baby. Back at their apartment, the inexperienced thieves struggle as the baby cries non-stop. Landlord's unhinged wife tries to quiet the baby by shaking him violently. They accidentally discover that the baby finds being tossed in the air amusing. Their nosy landlady hears the commotion and comes to investigate. The baby's constant crying begins to drive the three men crazy. In a desperate attempt to soothe him, they try singing various lullabies. A news report reveals the baby is the grandson of the incredibly wealthy tycoon, Calvin Lee. Octopus calls from jail, telling his partners to wait for his release before doing anything. They face their next challenge, a dirty diaper, a task none of them are prepared for. While shopping for supplies, a kind woman gives them much-needed advice on baby care. Realizing their incompetence, they decide to attend a parenting class. At the class, Slipper meets a friendly and helpful nurse named Melody. Against all odds, the three criminals begin to form a genuine bond with the baby. Slipper calls Melody, sincerely thanking her for all her help and advice. Slipper tries to return to his old gambling habits but finds he can't focus. He realizes that caring for the baby has fundamentally changed his priorities. Meanwhile, the grandfather's relentless men are closing in on their location. Chaos erupts as creditors, the police, and the grandfather's thugs all arrive at once. Slipper desperately tries to lie to Lieutenant Steve, creating a web of absurd stories. With no other choice, they make a frantic escape across the rooftops with the baby. A wild chase ensues through the busy city streets. In a bold move, they hijack an armored truck to get away. Not giving up, Lieutenant Steve commandeers a driving school motorcycle to continue the pursuit. The high-speed chase culminates in a massive, multi-vehicle pileup. The grandfather's men manage to capture Octopus and cruelly freeze him in a cold storage unit. Landlord, seeing an opportunity, negotiates a new deal with the grandfather for $30 million. The baby suddenly develops a high fever, forcing them to rush him to the hospital. At the hospital, a worried Slipper expresses his gratitude to Melody for her help. Landlord arrives with a $5 million down payment from the grandfather. He pressures Slipper to hand over the baby to secure the rest of the money. Having had a change of heart, Octopus returns the baby to his wife, Paquin. He apologizes, finally understanding that his family is what truly matters. Slipper also decides to do the right thing and return the baby to his mother. Melody reassures Slipper, telling him she always knew he was a good person deep down. She encourages him, believing he can start a new, honest life. However, Landlord has already arranged the exchange with the grandfather's men. The handover is set to take place at the grandfather's extravagant amusement park-like mansion. As they prepare to give him up, Slipper provides detailed instructions for the baby's care. With heavy hearts, they hand the baby over. But as they drive away with the money, Slipper and Octopus are overcome with regret. Unable to abandon the child, they turn back to rescue him. They sneak back into the mansion, determined to find the baby. Their rescue attempt turns into a wild chase on a roller coaster inside the mansion. The grandfather confronts them, threatening to drop Octopus from a great height. He finally holds the baby, whom he believes to be his grandson. He reveals his pain, explaining that his own son, Max, died because of the baby's mother. He sees the baby as his only remaining hope and connection to his lost son. At that moment, the results of the DNA test arrive. The test confirms the devastating truth: the baby is not his grandson. Broken and insane, the grandfather traps the thieves and the baby inside a massive industrial freezer. Inside the freezing chamber, they find the baby, cold and unresponsive. Outside, Landlord frantically works to bypass the freezer's complex mechatronic lock. After a tense effort, he finally manages to get the door open. They rush to the baby, but he isn't breathing and has no pulse. In a desperate, last-ditch effort, they grab car battery cables. They use the cables as a makeshift defibrillator to shock the baby's heart. After several agonizing attempts, their efforts pay off. The baby coughs and begins to breathe again. They have saved him. Just as they succeed, the police, led by Lieutenant Steve, storm the mansion. Believing they are facing the death penalty, the three men give emotional last words to their loved ones. Slipper tearfully apologizes to his father for the life he led. It's then revealed that their execution was just a prison play to deter crime. Upon their release, Octopus learns his wife has adopted 10 children in his absence. Lieutenant Steve informs them that their sentences were reduced for their heroic actions. As a reward, the baby's grateful parents offer the reformed trio legitimate jobs. They will work as security guards and a personal driver for the family. Octopus is thrilled at the prospect of driving a Ferrari. In the end, they finally learn the baby's real name. The three friends, now on a better path, have found a new purpose in life. If you want a recap of your favorite movies and shows, comment below, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next ones. See you next time, everyone.